In your package, you'll have the minutes of the October the 3rd meeting. You have looked it over, what is your pleasure? If not, take a minute and look at it.
Make a motion, we accept.
Motion on the floor to accept, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any changes or additions or corrections to it? Hearing none, all in favor of this acceptance, please signify by raised hand. Unanimous. On the agenda, reference to old business, bring you up to date on the water contract. Gone over the water contract back, forth, every other way. And there's only about 3 or 4 things that we're still at odds about, and I don't think those are major issues. As soon as we can get those ironed out, they will go back to the attorneys for final approval. Any questions reference to those contracts or that contract that I might be able to answer for you? Hearing none. Second part of the old business reference to the bathrooms back out here in the back being used as alternate or bathrooms for the businesses. It was brought up that night by one of the council that the possibilities of damage, not being able to supervise it and look after it was very possible danger. And since the modifications have been made by council, reference to the possibilities of using other facilities downtown was approved, then I think it is the consensus of the council, which you can express that these, for the time being at least, not be used for the public except when a public event is happening here at our building or on our park grounds. What is your pleasure as to that? Motion would be in order either way.
I think I'd make a motion that accept as you said.
Motion's on the floor as per my motion request. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I realize there's a possibility of damage, but having those restrooms and the amount of money that was spent on them and having them closed just doesn't seem to be, I realize what you're up against, not being there, but people are in this building, how about having them open when this building's open? I have some in between way.
And that is a possibility. As I said, when these facilities or those facilities are in use, then yes.
No, I don't mean the facilities, I mean the offices open, like doing office hours. What do other people think?
I think it should be discussed, like in a work session,
Amen, I second.
and
Totally.
go over all the positives and negatives, and then let the council have an informed.
I will do that. Now, one thing you do have to know prior to even going into that work session, the building out there is ADA accessible. This building is ADA accessible. Coming down the road and down the ramp, that does not meet specs, ADA specs. So the only way to do that would be to go all the way down to the new sidewalk, cut across to the middle, come over all the way down here, and be ADA accessible.
But they can choose to or not to, but it's accessible.
Well, I mean, that's something we'll have to talk about, because the first thing I say is, if they ADA accessible for people that are here, they had to get here some kind of way. And if that means they have to get in their car to drive down here, I mean, just suddenly, why does it have to be those people, somebody up there that was in a wheelchair, just you know.
Like we have,
For an example,
Yeah.
if somebody was up there and we say, well, that person cannot roll down that street and get in here, so you got to fix it. I don't understand that. I mean, just because that needs to, you know, that could be something we talk about in up front that, you know, you can use that facility, but you have to get there. And if you have to get in your car and drive, it will be available. But I just say it.
yeah, I tell you what.
That's why the work
rather
session
than-
is a good idea. That's why the work session is a good
Lay
idea.
out all the pluses and minuses and things that everybody needs to be aware of and think of and put their input on it and then go from there and see where we end up.
Madam Clerk, defer that over to a work session, please, ma'am. This is a very short meeting tonight, but we still got public here. Joe, you have the floor.
Well, I mean, I think sometimes it just seems like the town loses sight of what you're here for. You know, it's taxpayers' money. You are here for the taxpayers and the citizens. And if you spend a bunch of money over here, why not have it accessible to them? And if they want to, you want to encourage people to come to town and encourage people to take part in things. If they come down and then they can't, the kids play on the playground or whatever, and they can't get to a bathroom or whatever. I mean, I just think that's kind of defeats the purpose of what we're here for, or what you guys are here for, in the way of, public servants, basically.
What we'll do, if you can make the public meeting, great. If you can't, those comments will be carried over to that meeting and restated.
And I'm not talking about anything to do with my stuff. I'm just talking about from a standpoint of down here,
Mhm.
when this is being used, renting it or not, I don't think that's appropriate. I think it just should be here for anybody. If y'all are here, like Polly said, during the day, and people are down here, that's going to encourage more people to come and participate. And
We could do it
Do what we
during those business hours, because we are gonna have surveillance cameras, so if it was.
Well, that's where this work session, we'll talk all this out and let everybody hear the negatives, just doing something, or the positives, and
Great.
see how it works out. But see, there's two sides to that. Yeah, it's public stuff, and public should be allowed to use it, but we're also stewards of these resources, which came from, so we want to make them available, but we also have to make sure that we're carefully protected.
Strike a happy medium somewhere between.
Yeah, and there should be, and if we all sit down and look at everything, I think maybe we can find a common path.
Let's do that. And like I said, Joe, if you happen not to be there, your comments will be carried over to that meeting to be taken under consideration.
okay.
Anything else?
What is up with the water contract? Why is it so hard to get that thing squared away? I've never really understood that.
Well, if you ask them, they say it's like a cooperation from Sharpsburg. If you ask us, we'll say it's a lay on their part, on their side. We presented a contract that we had put together through a lot of work and trouble, and presented it to them. They kept it from April until about a month ago, and then gave it back to us. But prior to that, they gave us a contract, instead of all the stuff that we had discussed in open meetings between the two towns. They gave us a 2-page contract that said basics, that's all. So we said, look, we need these things that we discussed in there. So, okay, then it came back to us, and we have got a new version. It is very close, and I think we can work it out in a matter of days now.
But that's because that was what I seen was a 2-page contract, and I just thought, how in the world has this worked for however many years? How is it all of a sudden now not, something you can't get close?
Right.
It's been going on ever since I've been coming down here.
Joe, you'd have to see a real estate contract. When I started, it was 2 pages, and now it's probably 45.
Let me throw out just some of the hang-up issues that we have in the course of this thing, the first contract and then expiring and whatever. We have seen over all these years how the water thing has been run. Like, one of the basic things that should have been happening is replacement of old pipes. I mean, we're talking, what, how many years? 50
55
to
years.
something years. And there has been, it's up in Turin now, but in Sharpsburg, that hadn't happened. We still got all the asbestos pipes that were original. So now understanding that when we do a new contract, we want to put the things in that contract that are going to protect the town of Sharpsburg and its citizens, and ask them to do the things that they should have been doing without it being written down. So now we understand, if you expect to get a service or you expect to get some kind of delivery from them, it needs to be put on a piece of paper. And that's what we've been doing, sending it to them, and it's been coming back with that deleted again. And we'd send it back, and that's just been going back and forth. I don't know why it took so long.
Well, when you're talking to them face to face, they agree on all that. In fact, a meeting right here in this room with all the council from both towns met, both attorneys. We thought we had it all worked out. It didn't happen. So it's just a matter of, I'll tell you one thing that happened now, whether it had anything to do with it or not. The 2-page contract came back from one attorney. That attorney is no longer with them. The new attorney sent the one back now that is doable. And it was very close. Now, he took everything that was here in that order, scrambled it, but it's in there. You just gotta match it up. So, I think we can come to an agreement very soon now. Should have been able to do it a long time ago.
That's all, I'm
Is
just.
that all I got here? I have to go to the rest of the public. Oh, we've got 2 publics to go to now. You got any comment tonight?
She's already told you her comment.
Oh,
You wanna tell me the comment again?
Your wife needs help at the library.
I ask again, are you volunteering?
We just go to visit her on Thursdays when we're stopping by to go to ballet.
Well, we thought we had some help. We did for about 3 weeks there. Now we are keeping the library open every week now. But the help has not been real consistent in showing up. So we'll try something else. We're gonna give her some help. Right now, she's doing pretty good. It's taking shape, taking a long time to take every book down, redo it, and put it back up on the shelves where it belongs. So she's doing good.
Can I intervene at this point? Can we add that to the work session?
Sure.
Because her help, like you said, is caved in and she's back where she started.
Yeah, we can add that to the work session. We're just asking for comments from the public. What you got?
The pavilion looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the number of ceiling fans you put up out there.
Right.
And I can see music happening out there,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
We'll have the new LED lights in there within the next few days.
Yeah.
We've got them now. The man brought them to us all the way from Chattanooga. But anyway, I'll comment on that on my section. Nothing else to come before?
No,
You missed the meeting.
I'm sorry. Missed the meeting.
We're so glad to see you.
I'm glad to be here. I came last month on a Tuesday for some reason. I don't know why, I forgot it was on Monday. I think it's from reading Turin's schedule.
And I wanted to tell you, I'm sorry I missed you. In fact, I called the other day and your phone must have rang 50 times and
Is that right?
it didn't go to answer machine or anything.
Really?
I was gonna tell you that I'm sorry I missed you.
Oh,
when you
I
came
got
out.
your message up, but I appreciate it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Stop by to say hello.
Poll of council.
Paul and I were talking that the right-of-way still hasn't been touched. So I didn't even bring it up to council. I spent to stop by and ask Donna if she could give them another ring, and just ask where the status was on that. But you know DOT, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It's something.
But we need to keep following up because it's still an issue.
Maybe we all should call them, take turns. I call them on Monday, you call them on Tuesday, you call them on Wednesday.
They would sure rebel then, I will guarantee you. That all?
No, already told you mine. Mine was the library thing,
Oh,
I said put it
okay.
on the agenda.
Yeah.
I had a lady talk to me, she lives in the duplex down below Derrick. She moved out, she was there, she moved out, now she's back. And she brought it to my attention at one time, and I'd forgotten about it, But there used to be, probably something we'll have to get ahold of DOT about, there used to be a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign there, and it's no longer there. And people, as you know, we have speeding problems down Main Street. This is bad on 154. So is there something we can do to look into that to get them to replace the sign?
Yeah,
Because it is 35 and it's about right where the duplexes is from there down to 54.
yeah, we can do that. County is really good about working with us on
Now,
this.
what happened to it, I don't know.
It don't look too good in my front yard.
There's one down on Stovall too, did you notice that?
No.
Stovall and Main's
Oh,
crooked,
yeah, I saw
about
that.
halfway down.
That's
Still
about-
all in Maine.
Right, yeah, up at the railroad track.
Oh.
The snowballs line and stop.
I noticed one day last week, the new stop sign up here at 154 was knocked down, and about when I come home that day, they already had it replaced now. Whether DOT does that or county, I don't know. This is a state highway.
Right. Yeah, they're pretty good about putting that one back up because it's been knocked down so many times. You've got that note there.
Yes.
What else?
That's all.
Clerk's comments? Have none. Mayor's minutes. Bring up to date on the park since the last meeting. We're 99.9% finished with the bathrooms. Everything is operable. We have to replace the door closers to a little bit stronger door closer. The electronic device that flushes the urinals in the men's bathroom will be hooked up within a matter of a couple of days now. They did come in. Back to the pavilion, we do have in our warehouse all the lights, the big LED lights that go around the park. We've got all the poles out here. We will be pouring the concrete into foundations for those within a matter of days, so we get the concrete guys back, and then we'll put the poles up and we'll put the lights on before we put the poles up. The LEDs, as I said, in the pavilion, all the wiring is done in the pavilion, and the 6 LEDs will be wired within the next 5 days. Grass, everything's taken good shape. We had one little problem, one little patch of grass. That's been corrected. Got one pallet down here that has to be brought in. They were short that pallet, and we're short pallet and a half to 2 pallets out here on the road where Georgia Power dug the ditch around to hook up the power. So everything's coming along good with the park. That's all I've got right now. We'll hold some comments now that we're gonna have a work session. I've got some comments that I'll make at that I was thinking about making tonight, but I'm not gonna do it. So, anything else to come before council tonight?
I just got one question. When are the lights gonna come back on for the street lights in the old town?
Those, we had to cut off temporarily. It became quite a fiasco. Those were cut off from the old
I
main.
knew that, but.
They were going to be run all the way around to the new fuse box and range panel. Couldn't do that because the plumbing had already been put in, so we had to go back to Plan B, leave 1 meter out here just for those lights. And down, those will be wired there again when he comes back to put in those within the next 5 days, and the street lights will go back on. As soon as Georgia Power reconnects the service. The service was disconnected, so we could make the changes. So yes, they will be
Soon.
soon, yeah. And it's not because wasn't anybody doing the work, it's just because that's part of the delays. When you're dealing with Georgia Power and DOT, you're dealing with another entity, another government. Any other questions or comments to come before council? Thank you all for coming. Sorry it was a short meeting, but they got us set up for the voting booth.